Hello everybody and welcome back to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am sitting out in the area of my garden here at Crystal Cottage called the Courtyard Garden, and I have a houseplant video for you today because I want to give you an update on my beautiful plant I have in front of me here that many of you have been asking me what the result of last video is. And yes, I did a video about this plant a year ago where my whole mother plant, I pruned it into lots of different pieces. I put all the pieces back into this one terracotta pot I have in front of me here. And now I have a whole arrangement of this beautiful Philodendron hastatum silver sword that is doing absolutely fantastic for me. This is the result of a plant that was starting to dwindle and had some of the vines that had nothing going on them, and I thought, right, I'm going to go in and restart the whole thing, reboot the whole plant. And after a whole year, you can see this is the result. I have a full pot of this Philodendron hastatum silver sword with lots and lots of new leaves and lots of new shoots coming out. I can see so many more shoots coming up in the bottom of the pot. So this is going to fill out even more than this. This went fantastically well. So this is the result of my last video for all of you that have been asking what happened with that Philodendron hastatum silver sword that you split up. We were so worried that it's just not going to work out. Well, look at this, it works out. So if you are worried about getting in and rebooting your plant that's a vine, then you shouldn't. You just need to have the right circumstances, plenty of light, plenty of heat, a good well draining soil, and your plant needs to be moist and then let to dry out and then moistened again. That means water it through thoroughly. And I put this plant outside by my front door around 2 weeks ago, and it since has just flushed out more and more shoots, and it is absolutely loving it. It's in a shady position where it gets a little bit of light as the sun moves around from the east and down towards the south in my garden, just for a very short amount of time, and then the rest of the time it gets dappled light, and that is absolutely perfect for this plant. So it hasn't been in this amount of sunshine for quite a while. I've got a lot of flies flying around me and they're really annoying me while I'm trying to make this video. That's what it's like being in nature, right? But I just want to show you that yes, with the right circumstances, you can reboot your plant, you can get it to come back. And this you can do with many different type of aroid plants that are like vines. So you can do this with philodendrons, you can do this with monsteras, you can do this with epipremnums, and so many more other house plants that are in this kind of situation, and many other different genre of plants that are like vines as well. It really is that simple. But you wouldn't want to do this and then just leave this plant in a dark corner and then let it dry out and then come back every now and again and check on it, because it's just going to fade away, especially if you have it in a dark corner and then it's overwatered, it will just rot out. So it really is important to keep the level of the watering at the right amount for this plant to do very well. And I have it in a terracotta pot, so this plant has been out in the rain. It rained a few days ago quite a lot and it got soaked through, and the bottom tray was full of water that I've tipped out twice. So now this plant for the last week has been in a very moist soil, but it's in a terracotta pot that's wicking away the soil, and it's just loving it because the plant was dry before that. So I won't touch this plant now. It's had natural rainwater on it, and I will leave it to dry out completely, and then I will water it again if there's no rain in sight. So let's have a closer look at this plant because I'm really pleased with the result. So look at this. Fabulous leaves all the way around the plant. And at the back here, if we get in, you'll be able to see all of the shoots that are on the way up. Look down here. There are so many shoots coming out here and there and all over the place. It's just absolutely fabulous. And just look at these amazing leaves and their lovely silver glow. My plant transplanted fabulously for me. It really did. And by the end of this season, I'm expecting there to be an even bushier plant in this pot. Look at this one growing out on the side. New leaves coming out at the top. This really was an amazing success story. Have a look below again. That's what it looks like below. So I think I can honestly say that this worked out fabulously. So basically that's all I wanted to show you in this video. The update of my Philodendron hastatum silver sword, and I am amazed with its comeback when I thought it was on the brink of disappearing on me. This is actually a philodendron that is not an easy care plant. It really is quite specific in its needs. I thought it would be easy care, but I found actually a lot of philodendrons in my home are quite hard care anyway, especially during the dark winter time. They do need the grow lights, they do need to have the right amount of moisture, and without that they just leg out, or they just drop leaves, they yellow out, they don't do very well, and if they get too wet then that is it, they're gone. This plant is quite difficult, so I wouldn't say it's really a beginner plant. It's very hard to keep it going, but I seem to have got the trick down. In the winter I have it in my crystal library where I have a western and a northern facing window, and it gets the light from that. I've put a grow light in a lamp that I have in the room that gives this pink hue around the plant. It's quite cozy for us during the evening as well, so it gets that. And then, as I said, I put this plant out every summer because it really does need to be outside for the summer to be happy. It needs to get that dappled light from as early as possible to as late as possible. And here in Sweden during the summer, we get many, many hours of sunlight from between 4 in the morning and almost 10, 11 at night. So it gets plenty of dappled light and it needs that. If it's trying to grow out and you have it indoors and it's too shady, well, it's just going to fail. It just has a hard time. And this plant, when I first bought it, had the most big, beautiful sword-shaped leaves. They were so much bigger than these leaves here and so much more sword-like at the back. And well, they're growing out smaller. They're starting to get that shape again. I can see that immature leaves are roundish, different shapes and so forth. You just have to have the patience for these leaves to grow out again if they manage to get back to that size, because this plant was obviously in a nursery, in a greenhouse somewhere where it was getting plenty of light and plenty of humidity and heat and so forth. That was really what this plant needs to give off the best leaves. But I'm very happy with the result of this anyway. So that's all I have for you for this video, an update on my Philodendron hastatum silver sword that's doing fabulously. So all I have to say now is thank you very much for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.